welcome to Territorial Airwaves.
Everybody's Music is brought to you by Hiltz Laboratory, operators of the only commercial vacuum fumigation equipment in the territory.
Pontiac Spain, Rudolph, Gold Spain, George Burns, Gracie Allen.
Next steamer mail to the mainland, the President Coolidge, tomorrow. Rubber mail to the mainland.
America's standout find, the new 1941 Studebaker.
The rendezvous at Waikiki is to be reached either from Kalakaua Avenue, if you come by streetcar or bus.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Once more, we bring you the roadside rendezvous from Frankie Frankie's on Pino Road, near Bossiluki and Waikiki.
You're in the territory with Harry B. Soria Jr.
Saying hello there. Welcome to the territory of Hawaii for another edition of Territorial Airwaves. A big mahalo to our loyal listeners for this opportunity to share Hawaii's longest continuously running radio program with you. Hey gang, I'm Harry B. Soria Jr., right over here inside your radio, founder and host of Territorial Airwaves. We are now in our 33rd consecutive year of broadcasting Territorial Airwaves. We are Territorial Airwaves, your source for the history of Hawaiian music, and for this edition of Territorial Airwaves, taken from the 10,000 plus recordings in the Territorial Airwaves archives, we're going to bring you a show we'll call Frank and Cathy Kawelo. In this show, we'll remember that Frank Kawelo lived from June 9th, 1927 to May 29th, 2010. Catherine Kane Kawelo was with us from April 8th, 1920 to January 19th, 2003. The two entertainers both began their careers at young ages. They met and married in the 1950s and performed constantly. Join us now for Frank and Cathy Kawelo as we share their debut recording made 45 years ago. Kicking it all off, here are Frank and Cathy Kawelo with Panini Puakea on Territorial Airwaves.
Mai ao sui palilo, koi poi ke a kapua ani ani. Haina ia mai ana kapua na kui poi kanani a ona pua. Haina ia mai ana kapua na kui poi kanani a ona pua. Ona pua, ona pua.
Yeah, it's Frank and Cathy Kawelo as we go back 45 years in the territory of Hawaii on Territorial Airwaves. More coming up.
Territorial Airwaves, memory of yesteryear. The albino Blala, Harry B.
How's that?
Territorial Airwaves with your uncle, brother, best friend, cuz. Make your fish and poi, more noka oi. Hawaiian music, how it used to was. Woo! He can take you back to the little grass shack where the good old songs keep coming back. Like the surf at the shores of Waikiki. Ride the waves with Harry B. Territorial Airwaves. The Bible spins at 78. It's all right here with the albino Blala. Hawaii how it used to be. Harry B.
Territorial Airways. We continue with the music of Frank and Cathy Kawelo.
Yo,
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the whitest legs in all the territory, Harry B. Soria.
Yeah, we're Territorial Airwaves, your source for the history of Hawaiian music. You may have recognized that recording of Iali'i no Oi, done by Frank and Cathy Kawelo. That was their monster hit in the 1960s, and we played it all the way through the 70s and 80s on Hawaiian radio. And that goes back to the days of the club sound that Harry B. is always telling you about. That was at the tail end. You see, this album came out about 1967 when KCCN 1420 AM was really new. The reason I know that is Makaha Records was going strong, and their studio band was still Billy Hewlin and Benny Sachs, Sonny Kamaheli, and the gang that were backing up Frank and Cathy Kawelo on this album. But we also know the album that I have was given to me by the widow of Lucky Luck. And it's autographed, and there's a nice little note from Frank and Cathy Kawelo to Lucky Luck, who, of course, was at KCCN 1420 AM in the very beginning in the 1960s. And they signed on October 31st, 1966, Halloween. So you see, that's how we can figure out exactly when this all happened. Interesting, yeah? I am Harry B. This is Territorial Airwaves, and Frank Kawelo, full Hawaiian. He learned his music Hawaiian style by watching his older brother play slack key. Used to take his guitar to school instead of his books, and teachers scolded him, and he first attracted public attention on local radio way back in the late 1940s. He appeared regularly since then on many Honolulu clubs and Oahu military bases, and even local television. And now on this record that we're playing for you, done about 45 years ago. Cathy Kane played piano since she was 4. She had years of classical musical training, but preferred the Hawaiian music. She performed professionally since she was 15 years old. When she was still in school, had to do homework between the acts. She played with all the big names, all the other girls that were playing during the 1940s. Now, these two met and married in the 1950s, and she became Cathy Kawelo. And with a third musician, they formed the Bamboo Trio, and later in the 1960s, they became the Frankie K Trio. Good fun, beautiful music. And one of the things that Frankie was known for was his beautiful falsetto voice. A really enchanting voice, a little different than a lot of the falsetto singers. He loved to sing the slower songs, and so going to focus on one that I've always loved by them. This is their version, and again, the arrangements on this recording are all by the infamous Benny Sachs, Benny Sakamaki, but he did a marvelous job on this arrangement, and it features the falsetto voice of Frank Kawelo. This is Pili Aloha. Territorial Airwaves, Frank and Cathy Kawelo.
Aloha.
more historic moments from the memory of the ageless one who can't even remember his own age. Here's Harry B.
We are Territorial Airwaves. I am Harry B. Soria Jr. You just heard the beautiful falsetto voice of Frank Kawelo. Interesting that the wahine, Cathy Kawelo, would sing the low part, and the kane, Frank Kawelo, would sing the falsetto high part. Yeah, very nice. They did a lot of things together. Remember, they got married in the 50s, and they were performing all through the 60s, 70s, 80s. Old-timers might remember them playing together at the Elks Club, even into the 90s, I believe. Let's see. The first time that I really caught or got the history of Cathy Kane, her maiden name, before she became Kawelo, she was a member of the K Sisters. Now, Puanani Alama gave the K Sisters their alias, their performing names, because all the members of this girl group had a last name beginning with the letter K. They were all Hawaiian girls. So the K Sisters consisted of Dorothy, Dottie, Kalima, Mabel Kekino, Vivian Kahale, and Cathy Kane, the K Sisters, yeah? So we got some recordings of them in the 1940s on 49th State Records, yeah? Nice stuff they did back then. So we'll play some more of their music, but first let's go to the Territorial email bag and see what we've got here. Hello, Harry B. As an old kama'aina who first arrived in the territory of Hawaii back in the 1950s, I have always enjoyed your Sunday afternoon show, Territorial Airwaves, back when it was on Hawaiian 105 KINE. I also wanted to listen to your show on the web on the mainland when I moved there. I searched your name and found your website, territorialairwaves.com. So here's one person who looks forward to and immensely enjoys your show online every week. It reminds me of the music of my youth back in the territory of Hawaii. I am so pleased that you're now featuring many of your weekly shows so that we can listen to our favorites more often. Best and aloha, Richard Hart, Oak Harbor, Washington. Well, thank you, Richard. Glad that you found our shows. And that's right, we're keeping, I think we got at least 12 shows right up there now. 12 weeks worth of shows. We're kind of archiving everything at territorialairwaves.com, so if there's a favorite that you wanted to hear again, check it out online, on demand, at your convenience, in CD quality stereo at territorialairwaves.com. Well, we're listening to the music of Frank and Cathy Kawelo. They did some beautiful things, and it was all arranged by none other than Benny Sachs, yeah, with incredible talent, and backed up by that club sound gang of Makaha Records, produced by George Chun, engineered by Bob Lang. It's a beautiful recording from about 1966, yeah? Check it out. Here's their version of E Ku'ututu, Maddie Lamb, Mary Kavena Pukui's composition.
Ika nui loko mai kai Hello, hello, ia andala Kona leo, hea, hea Aloha au iku uputu Ika nui loko mai kai Hello, hello, ia andala Kona leo, hea, hea O ka holo ku kalakoa, ka himu unu lima ka haina ka ke kili kala au kona leima Haia ma kona lula, e noho pai pai nui I mea ho luli lulina, I kona leimo Haina mai ka puana, no kupututu ai mai ka puana no ku'ututu aloha he lohe maria ana kona leo hea hea
O kima alama ke aulana keia, eia noho I kako I ka Territorial o Hawai'i me Harry B. Soria Jr. ma Territorial Airwaves.
Mahalo. Yes, we are Territorial Airwaves, your source for the history of Hawaiian music. Yeah, Frank and Cathy Kawelo. Frank Kawelo, Catherine Kane Kawelo, married in the 1950s, and they were married for almost 50 years. She passed away in 2003. He passed away in 2010. But even though their ages were different, she was born in 1920. He was born in 1927. I did a little math, and it was amazing. This couple was so close for 50 years. I mean, they performed together. They preferred to be together in all things. So check this out. Even though they were born and they died different years, when you do the math, they were both 82 years old at the time that they left. Isn't that interesting? Once again, they did things together in harmony. Got another tune they did for Nani Molokai. For Molokai features that beautiful falsetto voice of Frank Kawelo. You know, everything he touched was so gorgeous. The arrangements by Benny Sachs. Cathy is there harmonizing, singing the lower part, and that beautiful falsetto, Frank Kawelo. On Territorial Airwaves, Frank and Cathy Kawelo. Yeah, and that's Billy Hewlin on the steel on Territorial Airwaves.
And now, more confessions of an albino blala.
Well, I must confess, my friends, that I absolutely love this recording for a couple reasons. I always enjoyed the voices of Frank and Cathy Kawelo. They're always a joy to see entertained together. But I also celebrate, once again, that club sound of Makaha Records in the 1960s. There you have it. This is right at the end, I would say, of the club sound phenomena. The studio group didn't perform together much longer, but here they are doing these wonderful recordings with Makaha Records. And again, the studio group is Sonny Kamahele on the guitar, Jimmy Kaupuiki on the bass most of the time. The steel guitar always going to be Billy Hulen, and the arrangements, the keyboards, the vibes, what have you, the genius, Benny Sakamaki, Benny Sax. And so you'll hear that behind. And basically they had a formula for creating this sound. Benny Sax would take the artist coming in, they would give him the songs, he would listen to them run through it at their first meeting, and then he would write these arrangements, these charts for these guys who could all read music, and he would come up with these interesting arrangements in the club sound that presented the artist in a very nice way, and he was a genius at this because he was the musical director at the Televi Digest television show, among other things. So he was used to writing charts on the fly for anybody that was going to appear on that show. So he had the ability to go into the studio, write charts for any artist. And remember, he did people like Lena Alhaili, Lena Machado, Marlene Tsai, and on. Benny Sax. So as we listen to this music, you get a flavor for this time in the history of Hawaiian music. We are Territorial Airways, your source for the history of Hawaiian music. And you know, Frank and Cathy Kawelo spent a good time on the island of Kauai playing at the old Club Jetty there in Wili Wili, yeah? And so they wanted to do a medley for Kauai, and they put it together. Songs like Nani Vai Ali Ali, Nani Vali Nahalan, Kauai Medley, all of it together for a garden island setting, picturing the loveliness of the garden island. Territorial Airwaves, check it out. Frank and Cathy Kawelo for Songs of Kauai.
Kuahiwi nani ea, vai ale alea. Ahe nani kauai kamaliea. Ahe nani kauai ea. Akuai Ke ala ona o ka moki hanaia. Ke ala hui hui ho o heno ea. Aina mai ka puana ea. Hailani ka
Yeah, we're Territorial Airways. As soon as I heard the cymbals on that last recording, I realized I forgot to mention, as part of the Club Sound Makaha Records ensemble, Harold Chang on drums. More coming up.
Territorial Airways, memory of yesteryear. The albino Blala, Harry B.
How's that?
Territorial Airways, with your Uncle Brother, best friend, cuz. Make your fish and poi, more noka oi. Hawaiian music, how it used to was. He can take you back to the little grass shack, where the good old songs keep coming back, like the surf at the shores of Waikiki. Ride the waves with Harry B. Territorial Airways. The vinyl spins in 78. It's all right here with the albino Blala. Hawaii how it used to be. Harry B.
Territorial Airwaves. Yes, we are Territorial Airwaves, your source for the history of Hawaiian music. Now, you can find the Territorial Airwaves radio program each week on a radio near you. You can also tune in for vintage tunes in CD quality stereo on demand on your computer at territorialairwaves.com. On the listen page, it's all red. Just click to start any show at your convenience 24 hours a day, with a brand new show being added every week. And there's so many of the shows on there in the archive section now, you will not believe it. Plus, TerritorialAirwaves.com offers you Hanaho replays of previous shows. At TerritorialAirwaves.com, you'll also find rare recordings, radio air checks, celebrity voices, photos, video, and historical exhibits, and a blog to enhance your overall Territorial Airwaves experience. That's TerritorialAirwaves.com. And there's also pictures of our Merry Monarchula Festival visit with Halau Mohali Lima. Yay! And also our recent Northern California Slack Key tour with all the Slack Key All-Stars, Ledward Ka'apana and Dennis Kamakahi and Kavika Kahiapo, Brother Nolan, all the gang, Robert Madero. Boy, did we have good fun. Hey, don't forget Territorial Airways, the in-flight show on Hawaiian Airlines. Let's get back to the music of Frank and Cathy Kawelo on Territorial Airwaves. Kaloaloala.
Kalana mai me o kaloaloala, ea ea. O pukai mana pua kalehuala, ea ea. Kalana mai me o kaloaloala, Manapua Kalehuala, Ke kani kapalulu o kamokulelela, ea ea, o ku aloha I ke iala, ea ea. Ke kani kapalulu o kamokulelela, aloha I ke iala, haina ia mai ana ka puanala, ea ea. E pukai mana e hulali neila, ea ea. Haina ia mai ana ka puanala,
Hawaii state law from wearing shorts in public. Harry B.
We are Territorial Airwaves, your source for the history of Hawaiian music. I am Harry B. Let's go to the Territorial email bag. Aloha, Harry B. I was listening to your show on internet radio, KKNE AM 940. Oh, AM 940 on the online, okay? Had to buy the new CD of George Ka'inapau that you were playing on the show. Yeah, that's right. We debuted the world premiere of the new George Ka'inapau CD. Hope you enjoyed that show. Thank you so much for sharing, and I loved you filling in the details all about this great artist, and of course, Hawaii and her history, as always. Wow, your time machine is much better than mine. Mahalo, Johnny Santos of San Diego, California. Well, thank you, Johnny. Yeah, we try to keep that time machine oiled and ready to go at all times. Yeah, for more of that, check out territorialairwaves.com. We've got all kinds of exhibits and a full-blown soundbite museum of all of your favorite artists from the past, many of them in hula heaven, still able to say aloha to you. Check it out, territorialairwaves.com. Well, we got all kinds of music, recordings that were made by the late Frank and Cathy Kawelo. This recording dates back about 45 years ago. It's a classic. It's the tail end of the Hawaiian club sound that we love to tell you about. It's got all the, you can hear the light cymbals, the brushes, yeah? You can hear the vibes and piano. And, of course, the steel guitar, all of it coming together on great arrangements. They did actually two John P. Ilani Watkins. You just heard Kaloaloa over there for the area that became the Honolulu airport, yeah? People used to live over there. And, of course, that happened on every island, didn't it? Okay, so that was John P. Ilani Watkins' composition. Now we do another Johnny Watkins composition. This one is for the Green Lantern, and that was a very special place that was over there by a small stream just past Maile on the Waianae side of Oahu. The Green Lantern Hula, written by John P. Ilani Watkins, performed for you, and I love this arrangement, by Frank and Cathy Kawelo on Territorial Airwaves.
Cats and jammers, you can count on Harry B. and Territorial Airwaves for the best in novel, hoppa howly ditties, jumpin' big band swing arrangements, and even luau style chilang-a-lang hula, you understand? Stuff I wish I could play on my gig.
Well, thank you, Wolfman. Yes, we are. Territorial Airwaves, your source. Your source for the history of Hawaiian music. My goodness, I am Harry B. Soria Jr., playing the music of the territory of Hawaii. Got some music here by Frank and Cathy Kawelo. You know, they made stops in this recording for several islands. Of course, they played several songs for Oahu, but they had also been performing over in Nauwiliwili Harbor at Club Jetty. That was an infamous club from back in the day. It was around for decades. So they were performing there, and they did several songs about Kauai. But then they turned their attention over to Maui to do a song that was quite popular at the time when this recording was made, about 1966. This was a huge hit, and I think they felt, well, let's put this monster on our album to help it along and do a song for Maui. This is the classic by Irmgard Farden Aluli for her family home. You know it. This is the rendition in club sound, arranged by Benny Sachs, featuring Frank and Cathy Kawelo and Pua Mana on Territorial Airwaves.
And now, here's a man whose very existence has contributed greatly to the development of protective eyewear. Harry B. Soria Jr.
You got Harry B. in the territory!
That's right, kids. We are Territorial Airwaves, your source for the history of Hawaiian music, and I love to look at the historical irony of things, okay? We told you that all the arrangements by Benny Sachs, along with the Makaha Records gang that did that club sound, so that we're figuring that this was recorded about 1966, yeah, because of the Lucky Luck connection, yeah? So we got Billy Hulen, we got Benny Sachs, we got Sonny Kamahele, possibly either Tony Kwan or Jimmy Kaupuiki on bass, and Harold Chang on the light drums. Yeah, that beautiful sound. Produced by George Chun, who did all the Makaha Records. And that, Makaha Records was a wonderful ohana of people working together to put out the most wonderful Hawaiian music during this period. The engineer, the one and only Bob Lang, probably the premier engineer of this period. Yeah, what a great year. He had the ability to make people sound like they did when they played in the little clubs. He could go in the recording studio and recreate their sound, the way they sounded. It was Makaha Records. And the liner notes were someone that you usually saw on Hula Records during this time with all the Kahawanu Lake trio recordings and so forth. Gene Sullivan, known later as Kinney Sullivan, yeah? Yeah, Gene wrote the liner notes. She's the matriarch of Hawaii's liner note annotators. Harry B. had the pleasure of awarding liner notes along with the graphics awards for this year's 2012 Nahoku Hano Hano Awards, the 35th edition of the Nahoku Hano Hano Awards. So as I was giving away those liner notes, I was definitely thinking about my old friend, the late great Kinney Sullivan, Gene Sullivan. Enjoyed reading her liners as always. I am Harry B. Soria Jr. We're playing the music of Frank and Cathy Kawelo, and we told you they did a lot of songs for Kauai because they had been playing at the Club Jetty. Here's one they did, a Dan Pokipala Sr. composition for that tall mountain with all the rain on Kauai. Frank and Cathy Kawelo.
Kaulana vale oi Kauai, hua hibina ni vai ale ale, mena kini ea, mano kalani po. Kaulana vale oi Kauai, hua hibina ni vai ale ale, mena kini ea, mano kalani po. E moani ahi nei ke ala, o ka moki hana me ka laua e, me na pua e a, liki ole o ka aina. E moani ahi nei ke ala, o ka moki hana me ka laua e, me na pua e a, like ole o ka aina. Haina ia mai ka puana, kua hibina ni wai ale ale, mena kini e a, manu kalani po. Haina ia mai ka puana, kua hibina ni wai ale ale, mena kini e a, manu kalani.
Anoai, aloha. This is Bill Kaiva, and you are in the Territory with Harry B. Soria Jr. on Territorial Airwaves.
And we're listening to the sound of Frank Kawelo and Catherine Kane Kawelo. You know, they were both born in the 1920s, and they got married in the 1950s, so they're about 30 years old. And they spent the next 50 years together. So everything they did, it's kind of amazing because they started performing. Cathy was, my goodness, she was playing the piano since she was 4 years old, one of those child prodigies. She had taken classical, but she drifted away into Hawaiian music because that's where her real passion, her real love for music came out, was with the Hawaiian music that she knew so well. And of course, Frank learned slack key from his brother, his older brother, and took the guitar to school, and, he just wanted to play that guitar and be a musician. And so they came together, and they played music for the majority of their lives together, always together, which makes them quite unique. They were in the Bamboo Trio with another musician, and then they made, with another musician, they made the Frankie K Trio, which is what they were known at when they did this album, Frankie and Cathy Kawelo. It's beautiful stuff, a nice cross-section of music, and the arrangements again by Benny Sachs, so it gives you that late in the game club sound that I love to play for you. Great arrangements by Benny Sachs, great music, great singing, beautiful falsetto by Frank Kawelo, and harmony by Cathy Kawelo. Love their music. Hope you like this one. Nani Vale Nahala.
Nani Vale Nahala, ea ea, o
finally tonight, have you ever noticed one of the best shows on radio anywhere is Territorial Airwaves?
Well, a big mahalo plenty, Joe Moore. Yes, we are. Territorial Airwaves, your source for the history of Hawaiian music. And we say a big mahalo plenty to our loyal listeners for this opportunity to share Hawaii's longest continuously running radio program with you. I'm Harry B. Soria Jr., right over here inside your radio, founder and host of Territorial Airwaves. We're now in our 33rd year. Yes, we're Territorial Airwaves, your source for the history of Hawaiian music. And friends, you never know what we're going to play for you week to week. You got to be here every week to check it out, because we've always got something different from the history of Hawaiian music. This week, it was Frank and Cathy Kawelo, two entertainers who both began their careers at very young ages, met and married in the 1950s, and performed together for the rest of their lives. Frank and Cathy Kawelo. And as we walk out the door, we say a big mahalo plenty, and we wish each and every one of you a fond aloha.
No ke aha no I hoki o ai I kuma'alo ana ai lohe au I kopi o a huli mai au e nana e oe e kamanu hoki o No ke aha no I hoki o ai I kuma'alo ana ai lohe au I kopi o a huli mai au e nana I oe e kamanu hoki o No ke aha no I ani mai ai I peahi ai au e nau e aku Kuno mai au me ka minu aka e ka sweet mai e No ke aha oe ia wiki mai ai I imo ai ko maka ia e kono mai ana ila ila He hunua ke ia ua paa ua pili mua me iala Haina mai ana ka puana no ke aha o I ka pulale E kono nei e pili aku au E ho'ohe no me oe Aua tule toe ka hoa E punua ke ia ua paa Haina mai ana ka puana no ke aha hoi ka pulale E kono nei e pili aku au E ho'ohe no me oe Aua tule toe ka hoa He punua ke ia ua paa
Ladies and gentlemen, Harry B. has now left the building.